The following program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
First of all, is very unfair to people that took out loans, worked hard, and paid off their loans. It's very unfair to people who took other pathways in life that didn't require them to take out a lot of loans. So maybe people that went into business immediately, people that went into trades, they made those decisions to not have that debt. And now the debt's being put on them, and some have estimated it could represent about $2,000 per taxpayer when all is said and done with this. But the people that should pay for it are not the American taxpayers. It should be the universities should be responsible for that. If they're producing people that went deep into debt and their degree is not worth anything and they're not able to make enough money to pay it back, well, then that's on them. And they've had an incentive to get more and more loans taken out and then put it in their pocket. So we should look at these universities. But what Biden is doing, it's going to cause more inflation, which is what you just had one of Obama's economists come out and say. This is the worst time to do this. It's going to fuel inflation. This is not good policy. Obviously, the fairness and all that is very important, but it's not a good fiscal or monetary policy.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Nice to see everybody. So today here in Maine it's rain. Rain. Humid as hell. Rain. And I guess they said for later it'll be thunderstorms, so I don't know how the weekend's going to shape up, but you know, that's the way it is today. I went and bought this Lego thing here. Let me show you. It's Mario Brothers Lego boat, and I'm afraid to really move this thing because you know how Legos are. But let me show you here something about this thing. First, let me take some of this shit off here. Okay, now, when you unlock this thing to play with it, okay, it expands. It's got, you know, extenders on it, as it were. Let me back it up. Okay? And when I mean by play with it, I don't mean just, you know, I mean you can play with it like it, you know, it's like a normal toy. However, it's not a normal toy. This thing actually plays online, believe it or not. That I haven't figured that out yet, how that's possible. But it's all got to do with this Mario character, which is electronic, and it has a Bluetooth adaptation in it here. Okay. And believe it or not, this thing understands what colors it's standing on. If you notice the floor is brown and there's green and all that, well, this thing can read those colors as part of the, when you're using this as a game, electronic game. And see, when you put it on green, which these hatches are, it reads a tree. Okay. Okay, then it reads fire if you stand it on something red. Okay, now that's all part of what it has to do in order to play the game. Now, if you look here at the top, you'll see looks like barcodes. Now, those are the things he stands on in order to collect points. Okay, hear that? He's collecting points here. Yeah, see, ding, ding. So, you You know, it shows coins. His chest has got a tiny monitor on it that shows you what it's doing, what it's reading. Okay. And like I said, somehow you can play this with other people online. Okay. I don't know how that works. Okay, you're gonna have to ask some kid that has this already. There's instructions on how to do it. I just haven't taken the time to read it. I spent most of the time just putting this damn thing together because it came in 12 bags of little Lego parts. Okay, and believe me, it was not something you put together in just one night. Okay, and here's the other thing. When I put this thing together, the instructions on how to put it together, I had to get online. I couldn't just, it didn't come with the damn toy. So you have to log into their website and scroll down the numerous Lego things they have and find the thing that you bought and put it together that way. Okay, and so it was, but it plays good. The instructions play good because, you know, anybody who doesn't understand how the thing actually is put together will get a really good understanding of it watching a, you know, an interactive instruction manual. So, you know, it really helped a lot, and I put it together in sections. Okay, and so it was a fun thing to put together. You know, when I was little, Legos weren't very expensive. Okay, you could get boxes and boxes of fucking Legos that didn't go to anything. They were just parts, Lego parts, and you could build whatever the hell you wanted. Okay, they if you needed spaceship parts, then they had a special bag of parts that you could get just to build, you know, like windows and hatches and shit like that, just to make a spaceship or something. Or if you wanted to make a car, they had bags of wheels, different kinds, fins, you know, engine parts, stuff like that. I mean, you could make anything. But if you were really creative, you could actually take any bag of pieces and make anything. I remember in Texas there was a kid who made the space shuttle. The thing was like 9 or 10 feet tall. Okay, and you know, taking him a long time, but it wasn't a kit, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a kit that was meant to be the space shuttle. He built that from just random parts, and they had a number of how many pieces it took to build it, and it was a lot. And they were carting that around to display in different places. If it had been me, I would have never have said take it somewhere. Okay, but it was impressive to say the least. So it was at the San Angelo Mall way back in I think it was in 1980, and this kid had that humongous space shuttle, and it actually had the doors that open, and he had a satellite inside meant that come out. So he actually had the arm that pulled it out and everything. I mean, it was complete. It was a complete thing. He had the rocket boosters, you know. So when you saw it, it was standing like it was ready to launch. So you had the tank, then the boosters. I mean, it was incredible. And of course, the kid spent a long time building it. And so, yeah, I mean, it was, of course, they had it roped off so you couldn't touch it or anything, obviously. But like I said, I wish at the time I had owned a camera because I would have taken pictures of it. But we didn't know anybody was doing anything like that at the mall at that time. So we just showed up there and bingo, there it was. But it's impressive what you can do with Legos. But that ship I just showed you cost me close to $70 here. Yeah, $70 for that, and that was the discount price. That was the discount price. And the reason why I bought that is because A, I like Mario Brothers. B, I like Legos. C, I like that particular part of Mario Brothers where he's on that flying ship in the game, which, you know, I still play, by the way, because I have the game system still old, but it still works, and I like playing that. And that's my favorite part of the game is the ship. So I like that. So I really bought it. I don't buy Legos a lot. Okay, I remember I had told you about the Star Destroyer that I had bought, Star Wars one, which is humongous, and I still haven't showed you. I know I promised you I was going to show you. I will show you. It's just that right now I'm in a state of removing things, changing things around, and that's really not a priority on my mind right now. But I will show it to you at some point here, and it's impressive. It's a pretty impressive Lego model, and it was expensive when I got it then too. It was at Toys R Us before they closed. Which now Toys R Us is making a comeback. They got a little section in Macy's stores across the country that they share a spot in the store for Toys R Us. I don't know how extensive that their section is, but I think this is the only way they could actually try to come back, is by partnering with somebody to do it. Now, okay, so this week has been a really, so far, frustrating week because President Biden signed a debt forgiveness act here for people that have a lot of college debt on their back still from their days in college, okay? Which I thought was good. I think that's a good thing, okay? However, the reaction, which is bizarre, is mixed from everybody, from Republicans to Democrats, okay? Which is like, I'm wondering, how the hell did he ever get that thing passed in the first place if so many Americans just haven't decided yet on whether or not we should do that? I always thought it was a foregone conclusion that it was one of the best things to do, is to help people out of debt, because once they free up their money, then they can spend more into the economy and energize it, and pay off other things that they got to pay off, like credit card debt or their mortgage or a car payment. You know what I'm saying? It can't be anything but good. But I've been reading comments on the news sites about what Biden had done, and I was like really flabbergasted. I was like, what the fuck? You got Democrats that actually sound like Republicans on this issue. And I'm thinking, how can you not think this? Folks, for those of you out there that think that Biden did wrong, I'm not so clear on why you think that it is wrong. I mean, I understand your point. I understand what you're saying by saying, well, I went through college and I paid off my debt. Why should I pay off somebody else's debt? Yeah, you might have went through college and paid off your debt, and that's good for you that you were able to do that. However, not everybody is able to do that, and the colleges know this, okay? And for them, it's become a racket. Now, I don't know how much you owed on your specific college tuition bill, okay, and how long it took you to pay it off. But we do know that college fees have gone up way more than inflation in this country over the past 20 years. That it's like, what the hell are you guys, why are you charging so damn much? And at the same time, they got people that go out to these high schools that are basically bankers offering kids loans to go to school. And I'm like, what the hell does this got to do with, it's not just a scholarship anymore that they want. They want to hurry up and assign you a bill of almost $50,000. I mean, if depending on what you're going to school for, they want these kids to graduate with debt on their shoulder already. Okay? And for some of these people, they go to the military to earn money to try to pay off that debt after, they do all kinds of jobs, and they're always paying on that debt, and into their 30s they're still paying onto that debt, and they just never seem to get out from under it because the interest rate is so goddamn high on these fucking loans that it's unfair. It's an unfair racket, and I wish the colleges would stop this, but it's greed now over education. It's greed. That's why they do this. Now, you might think that's fair. You might think that's a fair thing or a trade-off. I don't. I think that, if these colleges play fair, then yes, this money, this debt forgiveness loan would have been unnecessary. Okay, I think, if this was honest debt, a fair debt, there's no reason in the world why, anybody should say, we need to bail these people out. Okay. But the banks have not been playing fair with the public for years. Okay, look what happened during the housing crisis back in 07, 08 when the bubble burst in the fucking market, and everybody, the banks were calling in all their loans. Okay, do you think that was fair? You know, come on. You know, and then they wouldn't give these people any leeway here on how to negotiate to pay this thing. No, they just either you give us our money back, all of it, or we're taking your house. And what did the banks do with all these homes that they ended up buying back or taking back? Okay, a lot of them are just deteriorated and falling apart. They've done nothing with it because people aren't buying properties right now because they can't afford it. All right. So I feel like, you know, what the colleges and universities are doing is highway robbery, essentially, what they've been doing. And I don't think any of these people deserve to spend the rest of their life paying for an education that they needed in order to get ahead, but couldn't because of the fucking debt they had. It's like a catch-22. You want to be a doctor, fine, but every dime you make as a doctor is going right back into our pockets. You know, how is that fair? And whatever happened to the conversation in this country about free public colleges and stuff, which we used to have one time in America? Whatever happened to that? You know? The problem, folks, is not the people who have the debt. It's the issuing banks that are giving the people the debt. They're the ones making out like bandits here. When people are paying back twice what they owed in the first place, the banks are walking away laughing. Okay, because they got tons of fucking money. In the meantime, it took that individual years to pay that back. And think about how in 20 years the market's been in this country. The job market, the labor market, you know. Think about how that's gone up and down like a goddamn yo-yo. Okay? How do you expect people to pay off loans existing in an unstable market like this? You know? It doesn't factor. It's illogical for anybody to put themselves in any kind of debt when you live in a country where your job could be taken away from you tomorrow morning, okay, or some pandemic comes up and they lay everybody off. You know, how logical is that? It ain't very logical as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a risk. Every time people get issued a credit card, it's a risk every time somebody goes out and buys an automobile or a house or anything that's a high ticket item, and you have to get out a loan to get it. Anytime you take out a loan, it's a risk. Okay, can you trust the bank not to call the loan in before it's time? You know what I'm saying? How can you not think about those things after the history we've had already in this country, just in my lifetime? Okay. Market crashes are not impossible. It happens a lot. Matter of fact, they're already predicting another one's going to happen soon. Okay, so there you go. You can't ever assume anything's going to last, no matter what you know. So there's never a time to go buy something big, expensive item and expect you're going to have it paid off in a hunky-dory world that we live in. Okay, it doesn't work that way. 30-year payments are not worth it. 20-year payments are not worth it. If you can't pay off that fucking loan in less than 5 years, then you shouldn't have got it in the first place, because you don't want to be sitting on a loan that big for that long, okay, hoping you can pay it off. Because someday, somewhere down the road, something's going to happen and you're not going to have money to pay on it, and guess what? So, all right, let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Dear CEO, what's it gonna take for you to do something? Yeah, do you even care?
Climate change affects all of us.
This is your chance to do something good.
Ôi, có lời.
Vad var det där? En lavin eller?
Ja, den är kontrollerad. Alltså, det är såna jäkla krafter.
Är det safe?
Ja, de vet vad de gör.
Pappa!
Ja, det är inget farligt.
Kontrollerat.
Harry, det är lugnt, Harry!
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
More people and more crime is committed and more people are killed with hammers every year than guns. Look at the facts.
I will look that up. I don't think that's true, actually.
That is true.
In the United States, though?
Yes, sir. That is true. Look it up. It's on. You can Google it. It's true. It's actually true.
So, the number of murder victims and the weapons used. Okay, number 1, handguns, 8,029. Number 2, firearms, type not stated, 4,863. Number 3, knives or cutting instruments, personal weapons, fists, feet. Then rifles at 455. Then blunt objects, clubs, hammers, 393. The 300, the hammers, that stat is just wrong.
Back to your question. Second Amendment is still my right and it's still important to me.
Cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it. It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. So now, talking about debt forgiveness for college, former college students, okay? Which I'm glad that President Biden did, because it's saying something to the colleges out there that, look, you can't expect the government to stand by and let you and allow your institution of education to hobble societal growth, to get people up from the shackles of debt into, middle class or whatever, okay, into rising up the ladder. We can't let you do that, because when you do stuff like that, you're not just making money for yourself, but you're actually crippling the economy. Okay, we can't help people. We're always going to be helping people, always giving them money, because you guys are forcing them to spend more than they earn. Okay, when you stop doing that, okay, then the government doesn't have to step in as often to help people out. That's the solution to the problem that you're having about this government giving all this money away to people who need to get out of debt. Okay, if you want people to get out of debt, then you go to the people who are charging through the nose for things that you want, unreasonable prices, and telling them you need to adjust that. The cost of living is high enough as it is in this country, and what you're asking for is, astronomical. Okay, it doesn't factor into reality. Okay, that's the reason why you can't sell anything. That's the reason why houses are still sitting dilapidated and people aren't buying. That's the reason why people are losing their homes still, because they can't pay their mortgages anymore. Okay? You created that situation to escalate to that problem where you got the property back. Whether you did that on purpose, I don't know. But the point is that somehow you've managed to twist the narrative to blame it on the person who's got the loan, who was honestly trying to do better themselves, but the only way he could do it was either because he wasn't rich, it was to either go and earn the money through a job or something, get a scholarship, okay, or to get a loan to pay for it, for the tuition, which they're going to end up coming back again, because the introductory loans that you offer these people aren't really going to pay the whole ticket. You know this. So I think what you're doing is wrong, and I think you need to stop it. And I think that if you chip in and help make it easier for people to go to school, then the economy can strengthen. Then the government doesn't have to step in as much. And people can go about living their own lives and taking care of themselves, and they don't have to keep asking Uncle Sam, help me, help me, help me. Why? I mean, that's the same reason why Republicans bitch about welfare and all that. It's like, well, if you people paid people more, had more jobs, stopped shutting down jobs, okay, then there wouldn't be as many people depending on welfare in this country and needing government handouts. Okay, you wouldn't need that. And the fact that big corporations are out there getting handouts from the government is sick. Okay, they are the last people that need to be asking the government. But nobody bitches about that. About every year, this government handing out millions of dollars to corporations to help them, subsidize them as they go. Where's the complaining about that? But yet, when people are 50,000 or more in debt and begging somebody to help them out, you're like, no, you'd sink and drown on your own. Okay. No, that you can't have it both ways, people. You either give a shit about stability, economic stability, or you don't. Okay? And economic stability is not a simplified thing that you think in your mind. It involves us all. One chain in that link of chains that's weak destroys the whole link. You know what I'm saying? It has to all flow together with, like I'm saying, it all has to be strong in order for that chain to withstand bad times, okay? But if you take, like I said, and you raise the cost of food to the roof, raise the cost of going to college through the roof, and forcing inflation to go up, hey, that chain's going to snap, because you didn't make it strong enough to withhold all of that, okay? You didn't make it strong enough. So when you do that stuff, you're not playing a fair game, and the people know it, and that's why they had to go to the government for it. So yes, I'm all for what President Biden did. I think it was a good move. It needed to be done a long time ago, okay? But there's a lot of people right now who can say happily and with tears that now they're free of debt, and now they can focus on other things that they can take care of themselves, okay? The other debts that they have, okay? Now they can take care of that. All right? But the colleges have to learn from this. They need to back off on the prices here to open the door to more people. And somebody had mentioned that the reason why the cost is so high is because they try to keep black people out from going to college. There might be some truth to that. I don't know. Okay? There's certainly racism in this country that's alive and well. But whether or not these colleges are deliberately hiking up prices in order to make sure the minorities can't get into college, even if it means keeping out some white people, I don't know. And they'll never admit to it if he was asked them flat out if they did. But like I said, the fact is that people who are not middle class, who are impoverished, should have the same opportunity to be able to get into college after high school if they so choose to do so. And if they can't pay, then there should be alternatives like public colleges that, you know, don't charge you anything. Okay, there has to be some sort of fucking recourse for people. Knowledge should be free to all. Okay, there shouldn't be any reason why somebody should be shut off from learning anything, especially in this day and age where anything that you're taught in college can be found online. Okay, there's not a thing they can teach you in college that you can't read about or learn about on the internet. So if these colleges were smart, they wouldn't put themselves in a box like this, because they could easily find themselves out of a job. You know, because the students are going to be smarter coming in and will probably know more than the professors teaching the course. Okay, but that's another argument for another time. The thing is like I said, the price has to come down, and that means play a fair game. Don't be greedy about education. You can't tear down public education and then expect people to pay through the nose for college. Who's going to show up to your schools if everybody can't afford it? You know, you might as well shut your damn doors permanent. Your friggin' diplomas don't mean shit after that. So, somebody here got caught being a fucking hypocrite today. And there was an article written by Zoe Richards here about it from NBC News. And it's entitled, "White House Shines a Light on Republicans Who Are Criticizing Student Debt Cancellation After Getting Their PPP Loans Forgiven." The White House hit back at Republicans in an uncharacteristic manner today by using its Twitter account to go after GOP lawmakers who are bashing President Biden's move to cancel some student debt after they personally benefited from having Paycheck Protection Program loans forgiven during the COVID pandemic. In a series of tweets, the White House highlighted several congressional Republicans. Representatives Vern Buchanan of Florida, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania, and Mark Wayne Mullen and Kevin Hearn of Oklahoma, who, it said, had 6- and 7-figure PPP loans forgiven as part of a federal program intended to help those harmed by the coronavirus. Like many of their GOP colleagues, the lawmakers have blasted Biden over his student loan decision. Green, who said on Newsmax that, quote, "it's completely unfair," unquote, for student loans to be forgiven, had $183,504 in PPP loans forgiven, according to the White House. Kelly, who tweeted that Biden's move was poised to benefit quote-unquote Wall Street advisors at the cost of, quote, plumbers and carpenters, unquote, had $987,000, $987,237 forgiven, the White House had said. That's outrageous. Congressman Mike Kelly had $987,237 in PPP loans forgiven. Buchanan, who, according to the White House, had more than $2.3 million in PPP loans forgiven, that Biden's move was, quote, reckless and a unilateral student loan giveaway, unquote. Under Biden's student debt plan, borrowers who earn less than $125,000 a year, or $250,000 a year for couples who file taxes jointly, will be eligible for up to $10,000 in debt cancellation. Pell Grant recipients, who make up the majority of student loan borrowers, will be eligible for an additional $10,000 in debt relief for a total of $20,000. The Paycheck Protection Program was promoted in 2020 as offering loans that could be forgiven if the company spent the money on business expenses. The requirements for federal student loan forgiveness have been much more stringent over the years. The White House also highlighted criticism and PPP loan forgiveness amounts from Mullen more than $1.4 million and Hearn more than $1 million. NBC News has reached out to all 5 lawmakers for comment. Mullen responded to the White House on Twitter by saying Biden was unfairly targeting business owners for, quote, protecting their employees, unquote, during the height of the pandemic. So, yeah, here you got people out there standing on soapboxes, screaming their heads off at Biden for what he did. And all along, these people also benefited from having their debts forgiven in the price in near millions, even some in the millions of fucking dollars. Who got mad about that when that was found out? Anybody? No, people, the Republicans themselves understand the game is not fair. All right, otherwise they wouldn't have done what they did to get debt forgiveness. They know as well as the rest of us that these schools are taking us to the cleaners. All right, and in some cases, taking us to the cleaners, giving us diplomas that aren't worth shit. And that's happened to a lot of people. They go to these online courses and they get a diploma and they try to take that to a job and they won't recognize it because it's, you know, whatever, they don't like it, or the school ain't accredited or some damn thing, and they wasted all that money doing their online course and now it's worthless. So the scamming in the educational industry in this country is not honest. Okay, it's unfair, it's a greed, bank-driven market, and these schools only stay open because the fact they make money. All right, it doesn't have anything to do about the teachers that are there. Okay, it's all about the money, and the richer the college is, the more prestige that goes with it when you're a student there at one of these damn colleges. And so I think it really needs to be reformed, the educational system, big time. Okay, investing in education is one thing. Okay, and I'm talking about when the government wants to do something to improve education or to build better schools and update what we have. That's always a good thing. Okay, but it's not good in the way where schools are asking for more money, a lot more money than what they deserve to get. Okay, like I said, you look at a graph and the wages that go up are minute over time, but the price of college just skyrockets high above it through the years. Okay, it doesn't even follow the logical flow of, you know, people's ability to pay for things. So, like I said, it's blatant on the surface that it's unfair, and they deliberately are making it hard for people to pay these debts off, and that the reason being because that's the way the banks get their money back. That's why they charge such high interest rates. Okay, the banks want to make a profit off it, like they don't make enough money as it is. Okay, no, we got to look at some other way of making people beholden to us. What's next? We're going to have a bank card in order to go shopping for groceries. Okay, we know we're not going to be able to pay with cash anymore. The price of food is going to be so high that the banks are going to say, well, we'll give you a loan for the year to buy your food, and you know, that's how you'll pay for your food, but then you're going to be paying us back and plus interest for what you bought for food. Is that the next thing they're going to do? Because, I mean, they kind of are in a way anyway, because how many people pay in cash these days when they check out at a grocery store? No, they're paying with credit cards a lot of times, and debit cards. Banks make money off of that. So people are actually giving the bank money for the food they eat. And go figure how logical is that? You know, it's sad. But, you know, I think about Star Trek and that, and this greedy race of trolls there, they call a Ferengi. And everything about their society is about making money, okay? Even if they got to charge their own family members outrageous amounts just to say hello, that's what they'll do. You know, we're becoming like that, where money is the all driving factor of just waking up and doing something in a day. If you're not making money, you're unproductive. You know, if you're not making somebody money, you're unproductive. I mean, it's almost like your citizenship doesn't matter unless somebody is making money off of you. Okay, they don't want to know you. And at the same time, they got the balls to sit there and check whether or not you're a risk. After they put you in debt, then they make you feel guilty that you can't borrow any more money after the game's been leveled against you. You know, they charge things so goddamn much that, you know, you can't afford it, and then you can't afford to get any more credit because the banks don't think that you're a good risk. You know, I mean, I mean, talk about the, you know, the judges. I mean, these people are judging their own customers. You know, how smart is that? That's why when somebody goes bankrupt in this country, people, it used to be that it would be 10 years on your record. Okay, it used to be that, where that would be on your record for 10 years. But you know something, what they found out? Because a lot of people had gone bankrupt, the banks couldn't do business with these people, and they were losing money. So what did they do? They quickly changed, you know, the fallout from a bankruptcy to where, you know, after just 5 years, and sometimes even less, the banks have permission to come back at you for giving you credit card offers and stuff like that, but at a high interest rate. Okay. So you see, the banks can only go so far with that kind of shit before it backfires on them. So it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't fucking matter whatever the penalties are and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, they can't put all their fucking customers out of the game. You know, they need to make money. There's no other planets out there that they can. You know, with people that they can shift their focus on. No, you only got these people here. That's all you can do. That's business right here. Okay, you can't shut your doors like if you're running a store to people because they keep coming in, buying or taking stuff and they ain't paying for it, because you know you might as well shut down your store. Why be open? So these banks, if you keep doing that, putting people in debt where they can't pay it and they go bankrupt, I mean, you might as well shut your doors, because then you can't give loans to anybody anymore, because you've made everybody a risk. You made everybody a fucking risk. Anyway, like I said, this is crazy that people that I see online complaining about what Biden did is just, it's laughable in my view. I think that this was needed, it was necessary, and that you can't save this economy with people still in debt. You just can't. There's no fucking way in the world any Republican, any Democrat can come up with an idea to save our economy until you get people out of debt. You can give them jobs, sure, they'll make money, but a lot of that money is going to go to their debt. That goes right back into the banks. Okay, and what they have left over, they'll spend for themselves. But you know, it won't be as big an impact as it could have been if they didn't have as much debt. That money could have went back into the system big time. Billions could have gone back into the system. But because people have so much money that they owe the banks, the people who make out at the end of the day more than anybody is the banks. Okay, because they get their money back. All right, and then they can turn around and play the game again and offer these people back credit cards and loans, and you know, because people's always looking for a house, right? People looking for houses, so the banks are always there to take your money for that. Okay, and they don't like it when you pay off your debts. They really don't, because that means they're not going to get no more interest from you. All right, no more interest money. So they don't like it when you get close to paying off a loan. You'll notice when you get close to paying off a loan or a credit card loan debt, you'll start getting a ton of offers in the mail from other credit card companies and other banks, because they know, they're watching too. They know that you're getting out of the debt, and they figure, oh shit, no, here's a guy that's about to get out of debt. We've got to put him back in debt. You know, offer him another credit card, offer her another credit card, get them back into the system so we can make money. Because hey, we're all statistics in their little Wall Street game, okay? And it can't play very well when none of the players are there to play. And like it or not, we are the players, us, the people walking around with the debt. We're the players. We decide who gets the money and when, where, and how by paying on our debt every fucking month. You know? And these schools, these colleges, these universities, they're all in on it too. They're all in on it too. And if you don't believe me, the next time you have to go to graduation or near graduation towards the end of the school year, go walk around in the halls and see the suit coats walking in and out of the schools with their briefcases and stuff like that, and getting into the vehicles that they have the name of the company they represent. You'll see a ton of them over there, okay? You see that everywhere. They'll be there waiting for the student to be looking around to go to college, and they'll happily sit you down at the table and work out some kind of an arrangement where you'll get more money, get money from the bank, and they'll make a ton of money off of you as a result, okay? So recruiters and bankers are going to be hounding your children or your kids when they get close to graduating. Usually they start with the juniors. You know, they start a year early to get them thinking whether they want to go to college or what college they want. Okay, when they figure out where they're going, then they'll be right there to take your fucking money. So, okay, that's it for today, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. So keep your ears open for COVID-19 news that's local, and monkeypox, and subscribe and comment, and register and vote, people. A lot of momentum out there these days here for women to get out there and change what is, okay? And we want to make it into what was, okay? We don't want what the Republicans are doing to have a legacy that lives longer than we do, because frankly, that would not be America. That would not be what we fought and died for. That would not be what every person who joins the military is fighting for. And anybody who says otherwise is really a crook. All right, and we just don't need that. Okay? We don't need that. So treat everybody nice, and I'll talk to you later.